Leslie, I'm just going, sorry Marcel, I'm just going to move out of shot just to give you a picture of what we're seeing at the moment. As you can see, that the news that Kanya Cekeshe has been denied bail, as well as leave to appeal his conviction and sentence here in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court, has not been received, while emotions are running high as students affiliated to the EFF Student Command have basically turned the road just outside the Magistrates Court into a no-go area. We've got rubbish basically strewn all over the road. Just moments ago this happened, and they've set some of that rubbish alight. They continue to sing struggle songs. They're saying that, of course, they were hoping to take Kanya Cekeshe home today, along with his family, which of course was very disappointed. Many of them have expressed their anger, many of them not wanting to speak on camera at this stage. I'm not quite sure if I can grab one of them at least to speak to me on the side while I show you the visuals themselves. They're not wanting to do that at this stage, but I think the pictures speak for themselves to say that students are not happy with the decision by the Magistrates Court. And of course, Kanya Cekeshe's legal team has also indicated that they will be appealing today's judgment. In fact, I understand that the lawyers as well as the family is on the way right now to the High Court in order to file a petition to appeal.
Now, Osli, you're covering the reaction on the streets outside the Johannesburg Magistrates Court. Social media has been awash since that news came through. Other leaders of Fees Must Fall are weighing in with their reaction. Shahida Kala saying, Kanya, we are with you. You should not be in jail. This judgment is not the end. Many, like those in front of us on screen at the moment, not wanting to give up on their comrade who's been behind bars.
Yes, certainly, Marcel. If I could just take you through what some of the magistrates' reasoning was. Essentially, after speaking to the NPA to get some clarification around those reasons, the magistrate says that Kanya Cekeshe's legal team basically almost jumped the gun by essentially going to petition the High Court for leave to appeal without basically going through the proper processes of coming back to the court that had sentenced him in the first place. Also saying that there wasn't a decision that was made by the Judge President of the High Court regarding the leave to appeal, which is why the state was hell-bent on opposing the applications by Cekeshe's legal team, stating that it would be premature for Cekeshe not only to get bail, but the fact that the trial court in which he was sentenced in had not had an opportunity to hear the arguments around why he should be granted leave to appeal. But Cekeshe is the only Fees Must Fall activist languishing in prison at the moment, but there are others, countless others, that are still facing possible jail time. In fact, Mcebo Dlamini is one of those Fees Must Fall activists who was present in court today, and he was in fact telling us that the state being so adamant on prosecuting Fees Must Fall activists is the fact that they need to justify the cost of having spent so much state resources around policing in order to quell the Fees Must Fall process. That information coming up through the Zondo Commission that's looking into the issue of state capture, saying that instead of actually looking for proper for criminals like rapists and murderers, the state is just seemingly wanting to prosecute Fees Must Fall activists on the fact of just driving a point of making an example out of them. And so at this stage, we understand, of course, like I said, that there will be an appeal that will be lodged in the High Court. But at this stage, it just remains to be seen exactly what the situation here in the Johannesburg CBD is going to turn out like, as we do still have students who are expressing their anger at the judgment by remaining on the streets outside the Johannesburg Magistrates Court and having, of course, blocked this particular road. We are on the corner of Fox and Main Street, and so at this stage I'll hand back to you, but we will be on the scene monitoring the situation.
Slee, I know it's a very difficult situation there behind you. Thanks for hanging with us. We've just received news that reportedly the Justice Department will be making moves to try and help Kanya Cekeshe with an application to receive a presidential pardon. So this story very much getting the attention right all the way to the President's office, or at least the higher echelons of the Justice Department. What do you make of that, or what do you make of what you've seen of where Kanya Cekeshe is at in terms of his demeanor? Frustration is probably an understatement right now.
I can imagine the disappointment. In fact, having had contact with his family for the past couple of months, I can definitely say that the hope today was for Kanya to at least be able to go home while his legal team fights to set aside his conviction and his sentence. I mean, looking at his demeanor in court, if you have seen pictures of Kanya Cekeshe, he always seemed to have a very big smile on his face, always quite jolly. In fact, when he made his way into the dock this morning, and he caught a glimpse of his family, his face literally just lit up. It was almost like he had a little bit of hope that he would be going home today. But when you looked at his demeanor as Judge Carstens was reading his judgment in the dock, when you just looked at his demeanor, he slowly started crouching down. He started to hold his hands together as if he was praying that the outcome was not what was going to be delivered today. And so I can imagine, and I think South Africans can imagine at large, that he is quite disappointed. But hopefully, in terms of what his family wants, in terms of what students are calling for, that they will... Sorry, Marcel,
okay.
We just have a bit of an issue with students not filmed.
Right, safety first,
were trying to avoid having to film them at this stage, but I think
perhaps we'll leave it there for now. Let's just allow our camera person and indeed Slindile Masekane just to find their way to safety, reporting to us live there from outside the Johannesburg Magistrates Court. And as I was speaking to Slee, as she brought us the reaction from the courthouse, news coming through that apparently the Justice Department will be assisting or reaching out to Kanya Cekeshe to help him put together an application to receive a presidential pardon. We'll indeed be looking into that to confirm that and get you more on that developing story. Quite fitting then there also, as Slee reports to us from outside the Magistrates Court, that he's been behind bars since 2017, and the students that would have benefited from the fight that he was a part of have already gone through their first and are probably in their second year of study as a result of the cause that he took up along with so many others.